Something absolutely extraordinary is happening in Virginia. And no, it's not what the Democrats think. Yes, they got their redistricting referendum passed barely by the skin of their teeth. But the Virginia electorate actually moved farther to the right yesterday than any Democrat imagined in their worst nightmares. And those nightmares got even worse because Trump has a move. A bold, historically grounded, legally serious move that could erase their entire scheme from the map. Literally. Make sure to stick them to the very end of this video because I'm going to walk you through exactly why Trump is on the verge of permanently ending the left's stranglehold over Virginia and why it might just work. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you make sense of the madness with breaking news and analysis you're not going to get anywhere else. So you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Also, a quick heads up, the Iran war is moving fast and the legacy media is already spinning what you're allowed to see. My Patriot Alerts give you real-time updates so you stay ahead of their narrative, not trapped inside it. Click below and get in on the alerts now so you're always one step ahead of the spin. All right, let's dive right in here. Let's start with the numbers from Tuesday night because they tell a remarkable story. The Virginia redistricting referendum did end up passing barely by less than 3%. 51.5% of Virginians voted yes, 48.5% voted no. Now, let's just start with the unbelievable significance of that. Just 6 months ago, in the 2025 Virginia elections, the gubernatorial elections, Democrats were riding sky high. Governor Abigail Spanberger won the governor's race by 15 points. Democrats swept the Virginia House of Delegates with their biggest majority since 1992. The media was declaring Virginia a permanently blue state. And now, as of yesterday, that same Virginia electorate just swung more than 12 points to the right. 12 points. Look, to be fair, this is one of the reasons why the RNC didn't put any money in this race, right? You don't waste millions on a referendum in a plus 15 Democrat state. But as it turns out, Virginia is emphatically not a plus 15 Democrat state. It was a plus 5 for Kamala, but now the electorate ran even to the right of 2024. A plus 3 Democrat state is a challengeable, contested state, and God bless them. Patriots from all across Virginia came out in droves and nearly defeated the Democrats' signature ballot initiative. Rural voters in the Shenandoah Valley showed up. Working class voters in Virginia Beach showed up. Small business owners and farmers in the Piedmont showed up. And they voted no in massive numbers. The shift rightward from 2025 was absolutely staggering. And that fact alone, make no mistake, that fact alone is freaking out the Democrats right now, especially for the midterms. They think they got their 4-seat pickup in Virginia, but many are now realizing, yeah, but at what expense? If we saw a 12-point shift to the right in Virginia, what are we going to see across the entire map in a matter of months from now? Now, if you look at what made the difference, there's one county in particular that brought this referendum over the finish line, and that is Arlington. Arlington County, a 26-square-mile urbanized county located across the Potomac River from D.C. It's very unique. It contains no separate incorporated towns or cities within its boundaries. You want to take a guess how Arlington voted yesterday on the redistricting referendum? 80% yes. 80%. Now, in fairness, it wasn't just Arlington. Alexandria, 78.9% yes. Falls Church, 80% yes. Northern Virginia, Nova, as a whole, swung 37 points toward yes relative to the rest of the state. And in a race decided by less than 3 points statewide, I mean, that's the ball game. But the key here is that Arlington didn't just tip the scales. Arlington was the scales. Arlington is the very heart of the deep state. It's the place where Washingtonians vote to send Washingtonians to Washington. And their population size, combined with the rest of Northern Virginia, has now permanently subjected farmers in rural Appalachia, workers in Roanoke, veterans in Chesapeake, to the deep state whims of the very same federal government workforce that already dominates the Washington bubble. And it's not just them, it's all of us. These are the people who get double representation. They live in Virginia, enjoying Virginia tax rates and Virginia governance, but they spend every workday pulling levers of federal power that shape the entire nation. And now they've used that power to gerrymander the rest of Virginia into oblivion. So these are the people who, in the supposed name of democracy, I kid you not, in the name of saving democracy, these are the people who turned a +5 Democrat state in 2024 with a representational congressional delegation of 6 Democrats to 5 Republicans, which you would expect for a +5 Democrat state. They are now, again in the name of democracy, changing that congressional representation into 10 Democrats and just 1 Republican. Again, in a Democrat +5 state, 10-1. And add insult to injury in a referendum that won by less than 3 points. But here's where the story gets absolutely mind-blowing. Donald Trump is reportedly considering an executive order that would literally change everything. It would stop this Democrat juggernaut dead in its tracks, and it would even restore Virginia to largely being a red state as it was historically. This is one of the boldest moves imaginable, and it's going to absolutely blow you away. While Trump unleashes a political reckoning, there is another crisis poisoning every American in some way, shape, or form, even in the comfort of our own homes. I'm talking about the microplastic epidemic. Now, you may have heard about this, but this is pretty shocking stuff. Check this out.
White ones, we've got clear ones.
Tons of microplastics wash ashore all over the world every day. And now for the first time, scientists in the Netherlands have detected microplastic pollution in human blood.
All the microplastics and nanoplastics we are exposed to, we inhale and we ingest, that actually, there's so much plastic that it can even enter our bloodstream.
The Dutch study on blood samples from healthy adults detected tiny plastic particles in 80% of people.
That's right. There's a microplastic crisis poisoning every American in some way, shape, or form. They're in our food, our water, our meats, our proteins. In fact, according to a recent study, we now ingest 6 times more microplastics than in 1990. It's wreaking havoc on our health and on our organ functions, and unfortunately, no one is immune from this. But there is an amazing solution. There's a unique bacterial strain found only in kimchi that's been found to effectively degrade microplastics. In fact, traditional kimchi is one of the world's most powerful superfoods. But let's be honest, it's messy, it's strong smelling, and not exactly easy to eat every single day. So that's why our good friends over at Brightcore created Kimchi One. Now you can get all the benefits of premium fermented kimchi in convenient capsule form. No mess, no taste, no hassle. I've been taking Kimchi One every single day for months now, and gang, I love it. Each capsule delivers over 900 probiotic strains, live enzymes, and antioxidants that help restore balance in your gut. People are seeing improvements in digestion, bloating, regularity, energy, metabolism. Studies show that kimchi even reduces the risk of obesity. Kimchi One is all natural, non-GMO, and 100% made right here in the USA. It's completely dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free, so just anyone can take it. I personally love it, and I love knowing that I'm supporting my gut and overall health in one simple step. So if you've been looking for a way to boost your immune system and remove microplastic toxins from your body, this is it. You can get 25% off your order by going to the link below, or for an even better deal, give them a call. My friends at Brightcore would love to chat with you, and they're going to give you 50% off plus free shipping. Call them at 597-0233. The first 100 callers to order are going to get a free bottle of vitamin D3. Again, you only get that 50% off and free shipping when you give them a call. So once again, that number is 888-597-0233. President Trump is reportedly considering signing an executive order that would declare Arlington County never legally left the District of Columbia in the first place. And this isn't some wild idea out of left field, as it were, or right field better, right? This is a serious legal argument that many have been making for decades now. It's being made by very serious legal scholars. And here's the history that you need to know. So back in 1790, Virginia ceded a parcel of land, the territory that would become Arlington, to the federal government to help form the new District of Columbia. Virginia's own agreement stated that this land was given for the, quote, permanent seat of the federal government. But then in 1847, under President James K. Polk, that same land was what was called retroceded back to Virginia. And why? You're not going to believe this. Because Virginia wanted to protect slavery in Northern Virginia after the district began moving toward abolition. So after D.C. started adopting abolition, Northern Virginia wanted to save slavery states as much as they could. So Virginia Democrats demanded Arlington be restored back to them, restored back to their state so it could be safe for slavery. I mean, you literally can't make this stuff up. Now, presidents as far back as Abraham Lincoln questioned the legality of that retrocession. President William Howard Taft openly called it unconstitutional. The Supreme Court has never been forced to definitively weigh in. And now Trump could direct the Department of Justice to do exactly that, to formally challenge the 1847 retrocession and restore Arlington and even Alexandria back to their rightful place inside the District of Columbia. And he would force that through an executive order rescinding the retrocession. And many are arguing that such an executive order would be on stronger legal footing than many of the auto pen era executive actions that via Biden that sailed through without challenge. The constitutional text is clear. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 describes the seat of government as land ceded by particular states for a permanent purpose. If the secession was permanent, and the original Virginia agreement says it was, then how on earth can a state unilaterally take it back? Now, in the meantime, this redistricting referendum is facing its own court challenges, and they're certainly formidable. Bottom line, this referendum was blatantly illegal. And here's what most people don't know about it. A Tazewell County Circuit Court Judge, Jack Hurley, already ruled that this entire redistricting push was illegal. Judge Hurley found that Democrats failed to follow Virginia's own constitutional rules for amending the state constitution, which require that any amendment pass in 2 separate legislative sessions with an intervening election. Now, the Virginia Supreme Court allowed the referendum to proceed, but critically, the court explicitly stated that its ruling did not resolve the underlying legal questions. They just allowed the referendum to go on. The highest court in Virginia is still sitting on this case, and if it agrees with Judge Hurley, gang, Tuesday's vote becomes entirely moot. Meanwhile, the Republican National Committee, the Virginia GOP, and individual Virginia voters have filed separate lawsuits arguing the new maps violate Virginia's own constitution, which explicitly requires electoral districts to be drawn contiguously and compactly, not these gerrymandered Frankenstein districts that we're now going to be seeing throughout the state. Jason Sneed, executive director of the Honest Elections Project, he says he believes that the litigation is going to move at lightning speed given how close the midterm primaries are. And many believe, given how close this referendum was, that the Virginia Supreme Court is going to strike this referendum down. So let's put this all together here. What we're looking at is not, emphatically not, a done deal. What we're looking at is the opening round of a multi-front war. Democrats spent more money than ever on this, over $60 million. They even brought in the old corpse Obama. They hid their own map from the ballot so that people signing or voting yes didn't even know what they were voting for. They barely won because the Virginia electorate shifted to the right by double digits. You've got at least one judge already declaring the referendum illegal, and the Virginia Supreme Court is yet to rule. And Donald Trump hasn't played his ultimate card as of yet. If he moves, if he directs the DOJ to revisit the 1847 retrocession, the Democrats' entire Northern Virginia gerrymander machine goes with it. This isn't over, gang. Not even close.